Shalom, y'all. Once again, another video. Seems to be a day of making posts or whatever. Which has been a minute since I really have been, so whatever. If you don't want to watch, you don't have to watch. Anyways, I figured I would start doing segments called, like Street Smart School or something, like pro tips. For those that have not ever been in a predicament or situation where you might need to have this knowledge. And it could be beneficial to you if you do end up in this situation. At least as far as with the grid still being up. With the grid not being up, then I suggest looking into like survival skill videos, like how to build fires and things like that. But anyway, so street school tip number 1. Look around, be familiar with your area, look around for places that have an outlet on the outside of their store. Because clearly, with technology and all that these days, and looking for a job, contacting people, looking for housing, looking for different amenities, grocery stores, things like that. Short of actually walking the entire town, and depending on how big the town is you're in, and how familiar you are with it, if you were just kind of dropped in that spot, like with my situation, or if it's someplace you've actually grown up in quite some time, you might not be as familiar with the area. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing to have in mind. One thing that I learned last night is also make sure not only to look for the outlets, but make sure they work. Because typically, and I've done this before, where like Walmarts and whatnot will have an outlet outside of their store. And you can usually sit out there and charge your phone or your battery pack or whatever else. Oh, and by the way, battery packs take a really long time to charge because they hold all that electricity, so you can charge all your other things. So be prepared for that also if you've never used a battery pack. They take quite a little bit to run out of battery, but they also take quite a while to charge. So keep that in mind. Anyways, well, the Walmart that I went to last night had an outlet, but it didn't work. Neither of the plugs worked. And then the one that apparently did work had a security camera plugged into it, like one of the standing tower ones. Like they need to have more cameras on Walmart anyways, but, so yeah. So I ended up walking to another location and finding one. I was able to charge my phone there. And a little bit of my battery pack, because like I said, it takes quite a while to do that. So I didn't get charged a lot at all. So I'm still currently charging it from last night. You can see it in the background right there. So I was looking for a secondary spot because I was in a somewhat different location of town today. Not too far away from where I was, but my phone ended up dying, so I was like, well, I'm gonna look for another place to charge my phone. So yeah, be familiar with the area where the chargers that are in town or the district that you're in, and keep note of that. Do that even before you become homeless, because then if you do, you already know where all that stuff is. Also kind of look for places where you might be able to reside with whatever sleeping gear you have. If you have a hammock, a sleeping bag. Tent might be a little bit too obvious, but if somewhere in your location you're able to get away with having a tent and you have a tent, look for a place to post a tent. So anyways, as I found this charger and found out that both plugs do work, just as the second location I went to. Well, actually, no. I take that back, because I went to Walmart first. They had a plug-in. Neither of them worked. Then I went to a Mobile/Dunkin' Donuts. And they had a plug-in outside, but neither of those worked either. So then it kind of came to me that they probably turned those off to keep the homeless away, which is really kind of a bummer. Because who else would really need those outlets? And what's the purpose of having them outside of the building if people aren't able to use them? Whatever. Anyways, so then I went to another building, found one there, both plugs worked. And now today I found another location, both plugs work. But anyway, as I sat down here where I'm at and charging my phone, Abba kind of gave it to me pretty instantaneously that this would be a really good place to lay down my sleeping bag. So I'm going to try that tonight and see how that goes. But from where I'm at, of course you see this wall behind me. And even though I'm on a busy street, let me see if I can switch this thing around. I don't know how to do that while I'm still filming. I think I just maybe took a picture of myself. Because I'm not on a Facebook Live video, I'm just recording this on my camera. And it's not giving me, it's giving me a pause button, a stop button, and a picture button. But anyways, okay, I'll just turn it around. Let's see, well over here, got this corner. So you have a back wall for protection and support, and then that corner piece right here to be able to place your head protection. And then right here, plant for shade. And then right here is just lines of bushes that kind of help block from the street, as you can see right there. So laying down, nobody's gonna really notice you at all, especially at night. I've even had people walk past here with me sitting up, just sitting here, and they don't even seem to look this way and even notice me sitting here, and the sidewalk is literally like 10 feet away. So, praise Abba for that. I wasn't even looking for a spot. He pointed this out to me and kind of gave me the go ahead to be here and see how this goes. There's a gas station that's right across the street that's 24 hours, perfect for bathroom usage, and if I potentially wanted to get a snack or anything. So yeah, it's the little things, you know, to be grateful for, and like you know, a lot of people have a lot more, and they don't even have joy in the things they have, and yet, you know, material possession wise of things, I don't have much, you know, and yet I stumbled across this, and I was just so thankful. And see, somebody just drove by on their bike and they didn't even look. And I was even talking, just kept going. See, so I mean, anyways, well, I mean, the sad part with that is a lot of people don't really pay attention to the homeless people. They just kind of avoid them as much as possible, I've noticed. And I guess, you know, considering myself, I'm included in that, I guess, to the world's standards. Yeah, they tend to ignore us and don't really make eye contact for very long. If anybody's ever experienced that, well, you know, you already know. But anyways, okay, I'm gonna share the idea also that he gave me. It's right here. See how it's all nice and dark. Over here, I mean, it was like this pile of leaves and all that, and these like sticks and things like that. Oh, they're, you know, obviously kind of all over. It'd be a little rough to lay down on, so she gave me, of course, the thought to scrape it down to the dirt to where all those big sticks and twigs and things are not in the way of poking me when I am to lay down later tonight. And also so that if for any reason the dirt was damp underneath the leaves, that it would be able to dry out, so that when I am able to lay down, and it is dry dirt, I don't know if there might have been just an ever so slight dampness to it, but it's pretty dry now, so it'll be good for later. So I'm able to just unroll the sleeping bag on that, have it be nice and smooth, and not be poked with sticks or anything. And yeah, it should be pretty good. And I noticed at night, even though this is a busy road during the day, at nighttime, I noticed there's not a lot of traffic and all that going by, even on a big street like this, at least in this area. So I shouldn't have to be concerned about, you know, traffic keeping me up at night or anything like that. And there's only two ways that anybody can really approach this spot, and I would be facing both ways, so nobody would be able to catch me off guard. So also keep that in mind as well, like the different ways somebody could potentially walk up on you. Not to say that we should fear that, but just be mindful, and be wise about things like that. Because you never know. Your safety might not be in question, but if somebody, I don't know. I know people have stolen really dumb things to steal before. So when I was down in North Carolina, my suitcase was stolen, and it pretty much just had like socks and underwear in it. Just like, who's gonna steal socks and underwear? Like, I don't know. But anyway, just to be mindful of things like that. Because it's better to be wise. And of course, it's not out of fear, but it's just I don't think anybody really wants anybody to come up on them while they're sleeping. One of the days that I was homeless in Hudson and I had my hammock set up, obviously in an area with trees. I had this guy, he was probably walking through, he might have been homeless as well, not sure, he didn't specify, I didn't ask. But he did kind of speak up a little bit, well, because I didn't have a bug net at the time, so in order to prevent bugs and all that, like especially mosquitoes, what I did was got a 2-person tent, because it's bigger, it's wider, and you're able to take like a water bottle or whatever and put it in the hammock bag, because the hammock comes in a bag, or at least the one that I got, and it unfolds out, and you still have the bag attached to it on the side. And then what you do is you take like a water bottle, a canteen, or something that has some weight to it, and you put it in that bag, and then you throw it over yourself. So then you have that layer of fabric going over you, with the bottle being a weight on the one side, and then as you're laying on the actual hammock part as well. So you have it underneath you, and then you have it above you, and then that'll help to keep bugs out if you don't have a bug net. So yeah, I had the hammock thrown over top of me, like so, and then the guy was just like, "Hey, you alright?" And so then I flipped it up, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And he's like, "Okay, I'm just making sure you're okay, that you're still alive and well." I was like, "Yeah, I'm alright." And he's like, "Alright, have a nice day." I was like, "You too." So then he walked off, So some people might walk up on you with good intentions just to make sure that, you're healthy, you're alive, you're breathing still, that, you're not in any sort of trouble or harm. And they find out you're alright, they'll just go on their way. They don't care really that you're in the spot that you're in, unless you're probably on somebody's actual house property or anything like that. But as long as it's like a public place, I don't think really people seem to care. So yeah, just a few tips. Squirrel. Hey buddy. Yeah, 2 squirrels. So yeah, I've had some squirrels over here. There's 2 over here right now that I'm watching. And then there was a couple lizards over here earlier too. So that's kind of cool, just have Abba's creatures just kind of be in the area and being able to watch them. But yeah, I think that's all it for now. But I just wanted to, give praise and esteem to Abba for showing me a spot. I wanted to put forth out this information to people that may not be as street savvy or not have experienced this ever. And if they were to, they might, not have an exact idea of what to do or things like that. So to try to keep you, if anybody were to start being in the mindset of panicking, even though of course that's against scripture and against, the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit. For those that are still, I guess, on the milk, per se, in that category, just to give you something to think about, if indeed it ever did happen to you, that you wouldn't panic, you wouldn't worry, you would just know and trust that he's got you taken care of. So yeah, I suppose that's it for now. If for whatever reason he places it upon me to make another video today, then I will. If not, then I will whenever he leads me to. And I'll make posts about whenever he leads me to. But I definitely was led for this, just to, again, help with encouragement, help people have a thought process for if they were ever to be in this situation. And to give Abba esteem, and to remind people to be joyful in the small things. And not have a negative attitude. So a lot of people of the world, if they were in the same situation, they would be complaining. They would be sad. They might not hold out and fight. So, just want to tell you that we can do it through His strength. So remember that. Alright, talk to you later, Mishpaka. Shalom.